municipal staff and members of the public in attendance, this electronic public meeting is being live streamed to the public. A video recording of this meeting will be available to the public on the township's YouTube account. Physical attendance of the public at this meeting is restricted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to thank the applicants for their patience and understanding of the need to organize this meeting through the use of technology. The municipality has made every effort to ensure all affected property owners were informed and are able to participate in this planning process. And with that, Sue, could I get you to read the note, please?
Yes, through the chair. One of the purposes of the Planning Act is to provide for planning processes that are open, accessible, timely, and efficient. Accordingly, all written submissions, documents, correspondence, emails, or other communications, including your name and address, form part of the public record and will be disclosed, made available by the municipality to such persons as the municipality sees fit, including anyone requesting such information. Accordingly, in providing such information, you shall be deemed to have consented to its use and disclosure as part of the planning process.
Thank you. The purpose is to hear persons' comments in regards to zoning bylaw amendment application made by the applicant. Application number 1, owners Darlene Santos and Simon Royes and Luciano and Maria Teresa Pagliaroli. Applicant Mark Snyder, file number SAN 2021-04. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Larbetsky to take us through the application.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item number 2.2 is page 1 of the cover letter from the County of Renfrew dated March the 30th, 2021. May be found on page 19, and it gives the explanation and the purpose of this amendment. Item 2.3 is the County of Renfrew Planning Division Zoning Bylaw Amendment Report to Council dated March the 30th, 2021. It may be found on pages 21 to 23. And item number 3, the purpose and effect of the amendment is to rezone the subject lands from environmental protection EP to residential 1 exception 5 R1-E5 zone to accurately reflect the existing zoning on the properties. The existing R1-E5 zone permits a minimum frontage lot of 22.5 meters. All other provisions of the zoning bylaw shall apply. And just to give everyone a little bit of background history, the property was zoned EP back in the days of the former Township of Sherwood, Jones and Burns. There is no wetland on this property, and that is what EP stands for. I think at the time they did this designation was because there is a high two plateau cliff type of scenario on these lots. And the thing is that it has been concluded by both the former County of Renfrew planner, Charles Cheeseman, myself, and Mr. Schneider, that this particular type of restriction is governed by the building code and has to be addressed at the time of development of the lot, and any restrictions from cliffs, slope stability has to be addressed by the applicant at that time, whether there be studies or whatever. But so that is the intent of this rezoning, just to remove the EP zone. And then, as I say, that is what we've determined. I will move on to item number 4, report on application and notice, 4.1. Notice of complete application was sent out on March the 30th, 2021. Item 4.2, the notice of application and public meeting were sent out to all affected property owners within 120 meters or 400 feet of the subject application, and to all public bodies as required on April the 2nd, 2021. Item 4.3, notice was posted on the subject property on April the 1st, 2021. Moving forward to item number 5, notice to public bodies, written responses and or telephone messages. 5.1, email from the Ministry of Transportation, Ontario, email dated April the 1st, 2021. The comment was not within permit control area, no comments to offer. Item 5.2, email from Ontario Power Generation dated April the 1st, 2021. OPG has no comments or concerns. Item 5.3, email from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry dated April the 1st, 2021. No comments or concerns. And now going to item number 6, written comments. 6.1, email from Wendy Wolak dated April the 21st, 2021. And item 6.2, email from Wendy Wolak and response dated April the 23rd, 2021. I'll just elaborate on those two items. It shows that the posting of notices, that process works. That's how Wendy got notice of this application. She is, I believe, the acting president of the Cottagers Association. And when I provided her with the requested application in my email, the response was just thank you, and there were no comments or written requests to attend the meeting or any further information. And verbal report or general or telephone inquiries or attendances at the municipal office, there were none. And Madam Mayor, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any oral or written presentations by those in attendance? Now, the applicant, Mr. Snyder, is here. Did you want to speak to the application, sir?
I just wanted to thank the township, the staff, and the county staff as well for their cooperation and understanding with this application. It's been a very positive experience. Upon buying this property, I was always a little concerned with this EP zoning, and as I got to know the land better, walking it and working on the land, I noticed that the EP, if intended to map the area of steep slope, did not accurately in any way reflect the actual topography of the property. And it kind of came to a head when I had already sold these 2 lots, and one of the new owners asked me about putting up a sleep cabin, and I knew that the area that they wanted to put it in was high and dry, but not at all a steep slope area down. There's quite a large area down near the shore, well removed from the 30-meter setback, where they just wanted to put a small sleep cabin at the base of the hill. And with the current zoning, I knew that wouldn't be possible. So I agreed to represent them through this process to see about having the EP zone removed. And again, I've been really appreciative of the county planning staff through this process to see this change made. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, sir. There are no other members of the public in attendance, so I'm going to assume there's no one else who wants to speak to the application. So I'll move on to questions, discussion by council. Any questions from council? Okay, I'm not, oh, Councillor Poplinski.
Yes, thanks, Mayor Love. I have no questions, just a comment. Mr. Snyder was kind enough to show us around the property. I feel very comfortable in moving forward with this change and have absolutely no objections, but just good luck with your venture.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So if there's no questions from council, I did just want to clarify some things myself. Has the shoreline road allowance been purchased? Mr. Larbetsky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to mention that, and I'm glad you brought that up, and I was still going to try to interject. Yes, we currently have pending shoreline road allowance files that are with the municipal solicitor, but who informed us yesterday, shoreline road allowances are taking a back seat because of the urgency of the real estate market and other urgent things. So I have to somehow, and I think the CAO is going to send out some kind of a memo to everyone just to say, we haven't forgotten about you, but we will be trying to deal with things as soon as we can, but the urgent matters, you know, whether you're getting a building permit or whatever, will probably take precedence. But yes, the shoreline is in progress. And that's the one other good thing, that before we made this move to accept the application, the surveyor has already been there, and I believe Mr. Schneider can attest to the fact that he has given some measurements where this bunkie can be located down on the lower level. Is that correct, Mr. Schneider?
Yeah, he's already, the bars are in place, and you can see where that's measured at 20 meters, of course, from the shore. But if you go back from there to the toe of the slope, there is lots of room. Of course, a bunkie is very small. So there's plenty of room to satisfy the setback from the lake and the side yard requirements and so on. There's no issue there.
Great.
Okay, so I guess further to that question would be then, is the shoreline road allowance designated EP, and is it part of this then? I just
No.
want to make sure it isn't designated EP.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so there's no
But-
concern with it.
But the way the planner did the bylaw, it removes it completely off of the entire holding. So it's kind of an odd shape if you see the actual sketch where it is. But just to cover all the bases, the bylaw is written in such a way that it removes it in its entirety.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that. I didn't want you to find out that the shoreline that was purchased had the EP zone still on it. So that's just what I was checking exactly.
Yes,
And
Madam,
then just, oh, sorry, go ahead, Mr. Larbetsky.
Madam Mayor, you will notice when we get to the draft bylaw, it specifically references the shoreline road allowance and the parts thereon. So it has definitely been included. Thank you.
Okay, so that's great. I have no concerns. I just wanted to tick all the boxes and make certain that there was no things that were going to come back later. And then I just had a question, is the bunkie proposed for lot 26 subject to any exceptions from the usual restrictions on a bunkie? Is it just, and Mr. Larbetsky?
No, our zoning bylaw allows bunkies. There's a certain area that has to be available. That area is there, so the bunkie is allowed as long as it meets the setbacks from the water.
Okay, I guess I'm asking about it, ensuring that there's no changes that wouldn't be conforming to the rules we have around bunkies. Maybe that's how so it will conform to all the rules. There's no need for any exception on that point.
No.
Okay,
And that
because
was
we have seen those in other applications. So, okay, Mr. Larbetsky.
That was one of the discussions I had with Mr. Cheeseman about that, because I was thinking of building that wording into the actual zoning bylaw. And once it was determined by the surveyor that we were far enough away, he was satisfied that the provision in our zoning bylaw covers permissibility of a bunkie on this particular property.
Okay, that's great. Those were the only questions I had that I just was seeking some clarity on. I noticed Councillor Bromwich has joined us, but I don't know if he's fully connected.
I'm coming.
Oh, you're coming. Okay, so I just want to, we are at questions discussion by council. There you are. So we're doing application number 1. Mr. Snyder is here with us. Did you have any questions or want to make any comments on the application?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to give you that opportunity since you just got into our meeting. Okay, with that, I guess we will move on then, Mr. Larbetsky, to number 10.
Yeah. Pardon me. The attached is the draft copy of the bylaw, and as discussed a little bit earlier, it incorporates the shoreline road allowance. No reference is made to the bunkie because there is no requirement.
Okay, thank you. And that bylaw is, I believe, coming before council later today in our council in committee meeting, in the council portion of it. So thank you, Mr. Snyder. I appreciate your attendance and your comments.
Thank you very much.
All right, with that, we will move to the next application. The purpose is to hear persons' comments in regards to zoning bylaw amendment application made by the applicant. Application number 2, owner Valley Manor Incorporated, applicant Bradley Law Professional Corporation, Matthew J. Bradley, file number VAL-2021-05. And I'll turn it back over to Mr. Larbetsky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 11.2 is page 1 of the cover letter from the County of Renfrew dated April the 9th, 2021, stating that this is a follow-up to a severance application that has been before council already. Item 11.3, County of Renfrew Planning Division Zoning Bylaw Amendment Report to Council dated April the 9th, 2021. Item number 12. The purpose and effect of the amendment is to rezone the severed lands in consent application file number B99/19 from community facility CF to residential 1 R1 to ensure that the entire enlarged lot is in the same zone. All other provisions of the zoning bylaw shall apply. I will just elaborate a little bit on that particular aspect of it. When it says the enlarged lot, the entire lot, the little sliver that is being added on or severed from the Valley Manor property to be added on to Mr. Carmen Polbetsky's land is to accommodate the buildings that have inadvertently been built on this little wedge of land. So in order for it to be all residential one, that is what it is saying, that it's going to change from community to facility, and Mr. Polbetsky's entire holdings, including the lot addition, will now become residential one. Moving on to number 13, report on application and notice. 13.1, notice of complete application is dated April the 9th, 2021. Item 13.2, the notice of application and public meeting were sent out to all affected property owners within 120 meters, 400 feet of the subject application, and to all public bodies as required on April the 13th, 2021. 13.3, notice was posted on the subject property on April the 14th, 2021. Item number 14, notice to public bodies written responses and or telephone messages. I did not receive any. Number 15, written comments. There were none, did not receive any. Item 16, verbal report on general or telephone inquiries and or attendances at the municipal office. 16.1, Eugene Blosky, telephone inquiry on April the 22nd, 2021, requesting clarity of the amendment, has no objections. And once again, he stated that he saw the notice posted there. People were asking in the neighborhood what it was all about, and he figured as much because he saw the severance placard there, and he said he can attest the survey markers are there, and yes, Mr. Polbetsky's house does encroach onto the Valley Manor property. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any oral or written presentations by those in attendance? I have asked the question, and there are no members of the public in attendance at this point. I'm assuming there were no requests to attend. I just want to verify that we do have everyone in the meeting who did ask to be in the meeting. Mr. Larbetsky.
I instructed Gwen to send an email to Mr. Bradley, and I don't know, I guess with his busyness, and found that it was a straightforward application, probably didn't need to attend.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to confirm that there was no one trying to get into the meeting, because I would respect that and see if we couldn't get them into the meeting so they could make their comments. With that, then we'll go to questions, discussion by council. Any questions or discussion by council on this application?
Not for me.
Okay, I don't see any. So with that, we'll move to number 19.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And once again, the bylaws states that it is being rezoned from community to facility to residential one to incorporate Mr. Polbetsky's land as well as the land that is to be severed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Sue, could you please read the notification?
Yes, through the chair. Council is also required by section 34:14.5 to inform the public at the public meeting of who is entitled to appeal to the local appeal tribunal under sections 34:11 and 19 as follows. Section 34:11, if council decides to refuse an application or refuses or neglects to make a decision on an application within 90 days of the municipal clerk receiving the application, the applicant or the Minister of Municipal Affairs may appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality. Section 34:19, not later than 20 days after the giving of notice of passing of the bylaw, the applicant, any person or public body who made oral submissions at the public meeting or made a written submission to council before the bylaw was passed, or the Minister of Municipal Affairs, may appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality.
Okay, thank you. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.